What's going on, Guardians? This is Bosocks, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a discussion video because I am sick and tired of the way Nightfall specific loot works and the way my Mindbender session went last week. So, basically, way back in the day, Destiny 2 was not doing very good after its initial release in 2017, and in early 2018, they added strike-specific loot. This was actually a thing in Destiny 1, if you didn't know, if you didn't play Destiny 1. There was loot that was specific to strikes. So, for example, in a Malik strike where you killed the Hive boss, I forget his full name, there was a helmet that would drop specifically for hunters. And if you killed the Undying Mind that was in the previous season, he would drop Imago loop. And if you, for example, killed the Scion Flares, they could drop these, like, hunter cloaks that looked really cool, that looked like the capes the Scions wear in the Sundial event. So, all of that was really good, because the way it was set up is a chest would be at the end of the strike, and you had the option to open it or not, depending on if you had skeleton keys. So if you had a skeleton key that you earned from doing the Nightfall, and they randomly were awarded for playing in the Strike playlist, similar to the one we have currently. Not a Nightfall playlist. There was no Nightfall playlist per se. There was a Nightfall each week. But there was a Strike playlist with different, A, much better modifiers, and B, much better loot, because you could get these things called skeleton keys that were really, really good because they allowed you to basically go into any strike you wanted to at any time, and when you completed the strike, you got to open the chest and you were guaranteed one of these strike-specific item drops. So, for example, in the Undying Mind, there was a Warlock Bond as well as the Imago Loop, which was basically a Year 3 Fatebringer, and it would drop one of those two items every time you open that chest. The reason I bring this up is because recently, last week, we had Mindbender's Ambition farm and the Hollowed Lair strike in the Nightfall playlist where you could specifically farm this gun, the Mindbender's Ambition. And I did 77 total runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Mindbenders, and 2 of them are curated. I already know the roles on all of these, and 2 of them were curated, so I basically got 13 random rolls, and I never saw Snapshot Quick Draw in the entire play session. And I only got 15 out of 77 runs. So I'm like getting 1 in every 7 strikes or so, which is ridiculous. And I think that the way Nightfall loot is currently rewarded is really stupid and could be improved dramatically. Like I said, when Destiny 2 first launched, they added strike-specific loot to Destiny 2 because there was a little bit, the game was pretty boring on release, and this was a great way to put specific loot into specific parts of the game where it would get people to go play Nightfalls. And it worked really well in Year 1, where there was no random rolls, so as soon as you got the gun, or as soon as you got the piece you were looking for, especially as soon as you got the gun, you were done, which was awesome, because you could do, you know, a few, like 10, 15, 20 runs or so, and get the weapon. And then it especially got, when it got improved, the drop rates got improved, it got even better for weapons, like, for example, the DFA, which you only need 1 of, because it's constantly going to roll this set of perks every single time. The problem is, when you have random rolls, like all of these Mindbenders here, then people, on top of that, you're not getting a gun every single run. You have a huge problem where players feel like they're wasting their time. And then on top of that, because it's Nightfall specific versus the skeleton key system, it means that players are put on essentially a deadline of saying, like, hey, this week, you want a perfect Mindbenders, you have to go and get it this week, because you don't know when that strike's coming back. That strike might not be back before Trials releases, and this could be one of the best shotguns for Trials of Osiris just for Trials of Osiris, especially if they nerf something like Lord of Wolves. So it's a really shitty system where it preys on people's concern that they're not going to get the gun after the week ends, and there's no way of going back to it, as well as it's just a constant waste of time, because you can run 7, 15 runs and get 2 Mindbenders. Neither of them could be even close to the roll you want, and then all of a sudden you're wasting your time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through my Mindbenders, delete the ones that are complete trash, and then we'll talk about the skeleton key system and why I think it would be perfect in Destiny 2. So right off the rip, threat detector, this one's trash. So this one's slide shot, quick draw, here we go, trash. So one of the things, we can just delete both curateds because I already have it curated. But I think the skeleton key system would work perfectly in Destiny 2, because right now the strike playlist really doesn't have any reason to go play it. But if, for example, I was told, hey, do 5 strikes this week, you're guaranteed a skeleton key, and you can take that skeleton key into the Hollow Lair and guarantee yourself a Mindbenders, that'd be really, really cool. Or I could go into the Pyramidion and guarantee I get Silicon Neuroma or whatever. So all of that's really, that system worked so well in Destiny 1, and people were constantly playing strikes, and on top of that, the strike modifiers were so good, it really just brought life to the strike playlist that we currently just don't see in Destiny 2. This is actually an exact copy of the one I had, my best one prior to this week's running of it, so I do not need this one. We have Slide Shot, Moving Target, Assault Mag, and Rifled Barrel. We're actually going to keep that one because that one's kind of interesting. Pulse Monitor, Rampage with a huge range stat. We'll keep that one as well. This one's no. We're actually going to lock these so that we don't delete them. There we go. Auto-loading Pulse Mod, no, useless. So I personally think it would be really smart if Bungie brought back strike-specific loot along with the skeleton key system. And I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because of the way these seasons have worked out. It doesn't seem like Bungie's making any significant overhauling changes in these seasons. They're just kind of doing sandbox updates along with seasonal content. And maybe I'll talk about my thoughts on seasonal content later on. But right now, I really think that the strike playlist would get a huge benefit from players. Would get a huge benefit. This one has a range masterwork. We'll keep that one. It would get a huge benefit from just players being able to do strikes and grind for specific weapons and things like that whenever they wanted to, rather than being on this clock and on this deadline every single week something like the Hollow Lair comes out, which I think is just unfair to the player base, and it's unfair to people who may not have as much time, especially when the drop rates are so insignificant and so crappy. Like, my other solution to this whole system would just be up the drop rate so that you're guaranteed one of these strike-specific loot items every single time. It's just then when you do the year 1 strikes with the year 1 loot that's locked to a specific role, then all you have to do it is once and then you're done, which is unfair. So, which isn't as great. Like, people won't be playing that as much. So this is the God roll we got. This is the best roll I have. Probably. I'll show you my other one, but we got Quick Draw, Slide Shot, Accurized Rounds for that bonus 10 range, and Full Choke on top of that, with the Handling Masterwork, and then we're going to throw Icarus Grip so that we can jump. And then my best one on my character, we have the Curated, obviously. That one has 820 enemy kills. This is my shotgun with 1,000 kills. We have Reload Masterwork, Quick Draw, Slide Shot, Assault Mag so I can shoot slightly faster, and Full Choke, which is okay. Full Choke, obviously, really good. Assault Mag, Accurized Rounds gives me that boost to range, and so we'll figure out which one's better. And other than that, yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. I think we need Skeleton's Keys back. I think Nightfall specific loot, as well as the Strike playlist needs a dramatic overhaul, similar to what they did with Nightfalls this season. Nightfalls are actually really in a really good place. The like special one, the Ordeal one, but this is just this 77 total Mindbender runs. That's ridiculous. So hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in another video. Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.